Hello, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're journeying back in time to explore a truly remarkable story. A series of events that heralded a monumental shift in history. We're talking about the signs and wonders that preceded the birth of the final prophet Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon him. This isn't just a historical account. It's a story filled with awe, wonder, and profound meaning. Our story begins in Mecca in the year 570, a time known as the Year of the Elephant. This name itself comes from an extraordinary event. A powerful ruler from Yemen, named Abraha, set out with a massive army, including a formidable war elephant, with the intention of destroying the Kaaba, the sacred house of worship in Mecca. For the people of Mecca, the Quraysh tribe, this was a terrifying prospect. They were traders, not soldiers, and they were completely outmatched. Their leader, Abdul Muttalib, who was none other than the grandfather of the Prophet, who put his trust entirely in God. He famously said that the Kaaba had its own Lord who would protect it. And protect it, he did. As Abraha's army approached, a miraculous event unfolded. Swarms of small birds, appearing as if from nowhere, descended upon the army. Each bird carried tiny stones in its beak and claws. They dropped these stones on the soldiers and the elephant. And according to the historical accounts, the army was completely devastated, forced into a chaotic retreat. This event, mentioned in a chapter of the Quran called Al-Fil the Elephant, was a powerful sign. It demonstrated that the Kaaba was under divine protection, setting the stage for the sacred city that would soon become the epicenter of a new global faith. The Year of the Elephant wasn't just a military failure for an invader. It was a divine announcement that something incredibly important was about to happen in this very city. Now, let's turn to the personal story of the Prophet's mother. Her experience was unlike any other. During her pregnancy, she felt none of the usual burdens or difficulties that expectant mothers often face. It was a light and blessed pregnancy. She later recounted that she saw a brilliant light emanating from her. A light so intense that it illuminated the castles of Bosra in Syria, hundreds of miles away. Imagine that. A radiant light, visible in a dream or a vision, stretching across the vast desert, foretelling that the influence of the child she carried would reach far and wide. This wasn't just a mother's dream. It was a prophecy of the light of guidance that her son would bring to the world, a light that would dispel the darkness of ignorance. In that same vision, a voice spoke to her, telling her that she was carrying the master of this nation. The voice instructed her to name him Mohammad, meaning the praised one, and to seek refuge in God from all evil. This divine communication gave her comfort and a profound sense of the sacred trust she had been given. The name itself was significant. It wasn't a common name at the time, but it perfectly described the man he would become, praised by God in the heavens and by people on earth for his impeccable character and his message of truth. The sense of anticipation wasn't limited to his immediate family. The world itself seemed to be holding its breath. Historical and traditional sources tell us of other extraordinary signs that occurred on the very night he was born. In Persia, the grand palace of Khosrow, the Persian king, trembled, and 14 of its balconies collapsed. This was a symbol that the mighty Persian Empire, one of the two superpowers of the day, would eventually be overcome by the message of Islam. At the same time, a sacred fire that had been kept burning for 1,000 years by the Magians, the fire worshippers of Persia, was suddenly extinguished. This fire was the centerpiece of their religion, and for it to go out on its own was an inexplicable and deeply unsettling event for them. It symbolized that the era of fire worship was coming to an end, to be replaced by the pure worship of the one true God. And the signs didn't stop there. The lake of Sawa in Persia, which was venerated by the locals, unexpectedly dried up, while a nearby valley that had been dry for ages suddenly flooded with water. These dramatic changes in the natural landscape were interpreted as signs that the old ways, the false beliefs and idolatrous practices, were receding and being replaced by the fresh, life-giving stream of divine revelation. It was as if the earth itself was reacting, shifting and rebalancing in preparation for its most noble inhabitant. Even the idols inside the Kaaba, the very center of Arabian paganism, were reportedly found toppled over, face down on the ground. On the morning of his birth, for generations, the people of Mecca had worshipped these statues, but on this day, they were rendered powerless. A clear sign that the era of idol worship was doomed. The child who had just been born would one day return to this very spot as a man and cleanse the Kaaba of all idols, rededicating it to the worship of the one God, just as Abraham had done centuries before. All these events, the destruction of the army of the elephant, the light from Amin, the crumbling balconies in Persia, the extinguished fire, the shifting waters, and the fallen idols are more than just amazing stories. They are like pieces of a grand, cosmic puzzle. They were divine signals, or as the title of our video suggests, miracle symptoms, indicating that humanity was on the cusp of receiving its greatest gift. They showed that the arrival of Prophet Mohammed, peace be upon him, was not a minor event in a remote corner of the world. It was a universal event, preordained and announced to the heavens and the earth. An event that would forever change the spiritual and political landscape of the entire world. His birth signaled a new dawn for humanity, the beginning of a message that would champion justice, knowledge, compassion, and the worship of the one true Creator. It was the birth of a man who would be known as a mercy to all the worlds. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey back in time. These stories fill the heart with wonder and strengthen our faith. If you found this reflection meaningful, please give this video a thumbs up. And do not forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you won't miss our future explorations into these timeless stories. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, may you be well and blessed.